Hello! Today we would like to present Weather Trip Finder to you. This program was designed by Alina Boos, Jesse Simon, Angelo Villaruz, Carla Dau and Markus Urbans. In the next minutes we will show you what the idea behind the program was and how it's implemented. Let's start with the idea behind it. Imagine you and your friends would like to go on vacation together. The plan is to do a road trip with different stops. There are a lot of countries to visit and you choose Canada as your preferred destination. The problem is you only have a few weeks to explore this huge country, so where are the best places to go? The main criteria for you and your friends are the weather conditions. You want to avoid bad weather during your trip. But with using your weather app on a smartphone, it's only possible to search for the weather in a specific city like Montreal or Vancouver. That's actually pretty uncomfortable while planning a trip which does also go through parts of the country without huge cities. It would take a lot of time and effort to identify the weather conditions along your route. That's what Weather Trip Finder is going to solve. By clicking into the map, it will show the weather situation by using a happy or a sad smiley. So let's start with the first area. A happy face appears. What about going north afterwards? Oh no, it's a sad smiley, but you and your friends prefer good weather. So let's try another spot more south again. Yay, a happy face again! And so you can go through the whole country to identify areas you can visit. The data behind the smileys gets produced randomly with different weather types like temperature, wind and rain. It appears in a string with latitude, longitude, as well as the type of weather data like wind and a value like wind force. These data gets generated from different sensors all over Canada. In the next step, the data gets assigned to a cell of a grid which is laid over the country. The stream with all the data gets processed through Spark, creating a single value. Depending on the value, a smiley gets generated and appears on the map when the user clicks on it. A happy smiley states good weather and a sad smiley states bad weather. All this works with Apache Spark, developed in Eclipse using Java as the programming language. To give you a better idea of how it works, let's jump into the code.
These are our variables. The first batch indicates our key latitude and longitude coordinates that Spark receives as input, and the second batch indicates the random weather types that can be associated with each key, latitude and longitude. We needed to create variables to store the minimum and maximum values for each weather type to give us a criteria to classify the weather as good or bad. Since we did not want to determine the entire planet's coordinate system, we used Google Maps to give the geographical borders of Canada and determine the minimum and maximum values that we needed to generate for our latitude and longitude. We use a simple numbering system consisting of -1, 0, and +1 for each weather type. And using if statements, we were able to assign a -1 for bad weather, 0 for neutral, and +1 for good weather for each weather type: rain, temperature, and wind speed. The next step in our program was to generate random weather values for each weather pattern. This function is called Weather Provider, and it assigns a key, latitude, and longitude a random weather type. For simplicity, we only use 3: rainfall, temperature, and wind speed. In the future, we could include many more weather types to refine our results. The next step in our program was to assign the coordinates, weather type, and weather value to an actual location in our grid. We did this by transforming our longitude and latitude to x and y coordinates on a grid. The final step in our function was to take the randomly generated weather values and weather types and call the weather provider function, which returns a -1, 0, or 1, add them up for each weather type, then classify them and map them to the result and place them in our grid. This displayed a happy face, sad face, or neutral face.
Okay, let's run the program. So we need to change to a localhost, and then we can see the map. With clicking on the map, we can see smileys appearing. As you can see, there are a lot of happy smileys in the south, and if we go up north, they appear some sad smileys as well.